What is going on, Ravens fans? Now, before we get into any news and rumors surrounding your Baltimore Ravens, just about an hour ago, Ravens released the alternate uniforms, what games they'll be wearing them for, what they look like. If you think they're sick, go ahead and like the videos. I love them. Would love to know how y'all feel. Let me know in the comment section. I think those new helmets are sweet. I think if the Bengals wear the all whites, that November 7th game, that might be an all-time uniform matchup. I personally love them. Let me know how you feel about them. And if you like them, like the video and we'll get into it. Eric DeCosta met with the media today. This tweet coming from The Athletic's Jeff Zreback saying, DeCosta said the team is probably over the cap now after paying practice squad guys. In coming days, they'll do things to get cap compliant, and he feels like they'll create enough space to have flexibility to make moves. So could Eric DeCosta be saving up, be switching things around, and getting ready to make a big move for the Ravens? We'll talk about that in just a little bit. We'll outline the free agents that are still available after waiver claims and cutdowns and all that from this week. But before we do, speaking of Twitter, why don't you guys go ahead and follow me there? Or excuse me, speaking of X, you can find me at Joey Petersen 8. I'm currently sitting at 726 followers. My goal, what I said to my bosses, is I'll get to 740 by the end of the week. So give me a follow on Twitter. I tweet about the Ravens every day. Sometimes I tweet pictures of my dog. So it's a win-win for you. Let's get into today's video. So what does that mean? I think you can expect two things, what Eric DeCosta is saying. You can expect a lot of contract restructures over the next week or so. A lot of, putting money more on the back end. They're just going to switch things around a lot to give and just free up money for the Ravens right now, because we've already talked about the cap space. They're sitting at $5 million. Before all of this, that was the second lowest in the NFL. So you can expect a lot of contract restructures, and maybe you can also expect some roster additions. So, Joey, you ask, who are the best available free agents right now in the NFL that could fit with the Baltimore Ravens? Let's talk about them. Starting off first with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt has had a very interesting NFL career. Flashed on the scene with Kansas City, then had the whole, domestic violence thing happen. But he's been a pretty steady and consistent NFL player throughout his career. And last year got signed to a one-year deal for the Browns and had a pretty damn good season. 135 carries, 411 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 yards per carry. 9 touchdowns, that was a career high for him. And I think the thing that could be so great about Kareem Hunt is I think he could just add some depth at that position, right? I think he could be an addition. Now, notice there's not an adjective in front of that. I don't think he'd be a great addition. I don't think he'd be a Super Bowl contending addition, but I also don't think he'd be a bad one. With Keaton Mitchell on the PUP list right now, you got Justice Hill, you got Derrick Henry. Looks like Rasheen Ali is going to clear concussion protocol and be good to go. But I'd take Kareem Hunt over Rasheen Ali with everything Rasheen Ali showed. I would love him kind of in that running back 3, maybe that running back 2 in and out spot with Justice Hill. I think he could be a good addition. I know a lot of people, and myself included, aren't necessarily behind Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell, who won't be available for a good chunk of this season. Aren't very high on the running backs really behind those guys. So I think Kareem Hunt could be a really good addition. His 2023 contract was sitting about 1 year, $1.13 million. So you could get him on the cheap. I don't think it would cost you very much to get him on this team. And I know the Ravens don't have very much, but I expect in the next week or so, they'll clear up some cap space and be able to make an addition like a 1 year, $1.13 million contract. You guys let me know, though. I've talked about Kareem Hunt. I'm going to talk about 2 more after this. Who is a free agent you want the Ravens to sign? Who's the guy that's out there? It might be Ryan Tannehill. I see Ryan Tannehill in the comment section every single day. But you let me know. Who's a free agent you want the Ravens to go after in the comment section? Next up on the best available free agents, a name that hasn't been talked about a lot because he's been on a roster, but just was kind of a surprise cut for the Minnesota Vikings. That's Jonah Williams. 6'5", 285 pounds. He was cut by the Vikings Tuesday, August 27th on that cut down day. And that was a big surprise, especially given they signed him in March and given what he did last year for the Rams, 49 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a pass breakup in that defensive line position. And the thing that I really like about him is a lot of times when you're a defensive lineman and you're available at this point in the NFL offseason, you're likely old. He's not. He's still young. He's only played 3 years in the NFL. And another thing about defensive linemen is you can never have too much defensive line depth. We talked about it yesterday with Lawrence Guy after those rumors kind of started, and I guess not rumors, the news started that he paid a visit to Baltimore. You can really never have too much defensive line depth. I think Jonah Williams could be a guy you could get on the cheap and could be a guy who could be really, really effective in this defense. The contract wouldn't be that much. Like I said, maybe 1 year, $1.25 million, possibly even less than that. And so I think this is almost a no-brainer, right? You get a key depth piece, you get a young depth piece, and you get a guy who's coming off the best season of his career so far. So what do you think is the Ravens' biggest weakness? We talked defensive line. We're about to talk edge rusher. I'll preview that. What do you think it is? I know a lot of people think it might be edge rusher. A lot of people think it might be backup quarterback. Let me know down there in the comment section. But before we move on to our last available free agent, I've got to get a shout out to our sponsor on today's video, and that is Factor. Factor is the best place to go for the most delicious and easy meals. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal, chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. Guys, we work long hours here at Chat Sports, and my wife works long hours too, and sometimes we get home 6:45, 7 o'clock, we're starving, one of us forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer to thaw it, and we want to eat. And so that's why we love Factor. It only takes 2 minutes from fridge to microwave to your stomach. It is the best and the healthiest option out there. So head over to factormeals.com/RavensChat50 and use code RavensChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code RavensChat50 at factormeals.com/RavensChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. Factor is the best place to go and is the number one spot that I love, and it's why you should head over there. So go, 50% off, 20% off your subscription right after that. So the next best available free agent I've got for the Baltimore Ravens is Yannick Ngokoue. This is a guy we talked about a lot kind of over the offseason, and I know you might be tired of hearing, but he's still there. And he still could be a quality addition to this roster. Now, he's had a time in Baltimore, spent time there. However, it didn't go necessarily how he planned, or I think how the Ravens planned either. He's quoted saying, "I feel like in Baltimore, I wasn't utilized the right way. That rotation was kind of ugly for me. Pass rushers need rhythm. You have to have multiple players to set up moves, and I feel like I didn't have that there." And we know we're far removed from the Martindale defense, and I think Zach Orr could be a guy who could really utilize his skills because he has such incredible skills. He's had over 4 sacks each of his last 4 seasons. The 3 seasons prior to last one, 9.5 sacks, 10 sacks, 8 sacks overall. He's had 69 career sacks. And that's the thing, is a lot of people and a lot of Ravens fans are worried about this team's pass rush. I'm not as worried about this team's pass rush, but a lot of you guys are, and you're worried about the sack production. And Yannick Ngokoue can be a guy who can uptick that sack production within minutes that he steps off on the roster. Now, I know he didn't light up the stat sheet when he was in Baltimore. I think he had only 3 sacks of the 9 games he played in Baltimore, but he's going to get a full, hopefully 16 or 17. He's going to have a new defensive coordinator who knows what it's like to play on defense, who knows what it's like to play in the NFL. And if you're Yannick Ngokoue, you can say, hey, look, I wasn't utilized. You didn't get the best out of me the last time I was here. Utilize me this way. Get the best out of me now. Wow. So the thing about Yannick is it's going to be a little more expensive than any of these other guys. And I think that might be the thing that gives the Ravens pause is the price tag. You will have to do a lot of restructuring to be able to pay that price tag, but I think at the end of the day, it's worth it, right? I know you guys don't necessarily have a ton of faith in a lot of these pass rushers outside of like Kyle Van Noy and Justin Madubuike and their ability to get to the quarterback. I think Yannick Ngokoue could be a huge addition to this team. So do you think the Ravens need help on the defensive line? I've outlined 2 defensive linemen, one on the edge, one kind of in the middle. You guys let me know what you think and let me know if you think that they need help on that defensive line. So before we go, I want to take a look real quick. Colin, if you could pull it up there of the practice squad, because the Ravens officially announced all their practice squad players. Going with 15 guys. You have 16 to play with. You don't always have to go to 16. But here's the ones that rock with. We talked about a lot of these guys yesterday. Corey Bullock, Chris Collier, Bump Cooper Jr., Malik Cunningham, Darian Dalcourt, Joe Evans, Kadar Holman, Kadir Ismail, John Kelly, Keith Kirkwood, Devin Leary, Anthony Miller, CJ Ravenel, Josh Rosh, and Dayton Wade. So it's a pretty good squad. I think you kept a lot of the guys you want to keep. There's a couple guys on there that you might not have wanted to keep, but you did anyway. But at the end of the day, there's a good amount of young guys on this team that I see could possibly have a future with the Baltimore Ravens and giving them a lot of production. And I'm excited that they're still within this organization and that they're still given a chance to prove themselves every single day. And there's going to be a lot of these guys, let's be honest. Injuries happen. We're going to see a lot of these guys during the regular season as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know we talked about a lot of things, covered a lot of topics, but you guys let me know. Who is a guy you want to sign? And as always, hit that subscribe button. I'll be here every day with a video, and we'll be going live a week from today for the kickoff for the regular season. Y'all have a great day.